yet he has threatened no one. He has assaulted no one. But we have this ongoing pattern of seeing our young people assaulted, threatened, categorized as thugs. We see all of that playing out. And so this mother is extremely concerned and being tormented by the fact that she does not have her son in a safe place. And that's what's most alarming.
So much of this, from the beginning into where we are right now, is played out on social media. I mean, from that first Friday, that video that went viral, the latest taking his flag. And now I think we're in a situation, if I read it right, where really Eric's become a hero to many people on social media, and they are praising him. And I'm just curious what you think about that, and if you think, obviously, I would imagine you feel it's good that his cause and the words that he has spoken in the past get out. But I'm also curious if you're concerned about the lifting him up so high, and that might create other problems with tensions and things like that from the other side, maybe vilifying him more.
Well, I think that the reality is that the experience that Eric experienced, that I think birthed his commentary, is that an African-American man is born in America as a suspect. He's born in America as a villain. And so there is nothing we can do. When I walk out of this door, and when these brothers walk out of this door, we run the risk every day of being vilified by a law enforcement officer. So the idea that he is being lifted up as a hero, he's a bright, young African-American man that's a student that is now being criminalized. And so the community is saying very clearly, we're lifting him up because we think that we should have more critical thinkers. The notion, the very notion that when we talk about the new Jim Crow and the mass incarceration of African-American men, here's an African-American man that's in college. And this process is seeking to remove him from college and to put him into prison. And so, should he be a hero? I think under the conditions of oppression that many of us are experiencing, absolutely. And I would let, I know Brother 17 speak to that, as well as anyone else.
I would like to address that question.
Sure.
First of all, perception is reality in America today. The perception managers in the United States, yourselves included, have demonized young black people, have talked about them as thugs. These are our children. Have talked about them as thugs and criminals, forgetting that the process of criminalization begins with the system. The stop and frisk gives black kids a record. Stopping people while driving and driving while black, all of this harassment criminalizes the African community. So when this brother stood up and stated the truth about the symbolism, the perception of the American flag in the African community, he was stating a point of view that was based on historical reality. The historical reality of white supremacy, slavery, racist law enforcement, police terrorism. This is real. Even the President of the United States got on the radio and TV just the other day, trying to ameliorate the situation and talk sweet to white folks, but it's real. So if this brother becomes a hero to youth in the black community, it's only because he stood up for the truth in the face of tyranny. That's the only reason. If he was standing up, demonizing white people in a racist fashion, if he was telling lies, if he was preaching hate, then he shouldn't be considered a hero. But he was telling the truth. And the truth is what has you here and that has him as a fugitive. And I want to point out that I believe that Attorney Maudi Bozeman is also representing another victim of police murder who was at his job when he was killed. He was working at his job when he was murdered, shot in the car when he was killed. And why did the police go with a SWAT team to arrest him? Because he had on his record that he has assaulted a police officer. He had got stopped for a traffic violation, from what I understand. They beat him up and they charged him with assault on a police officer. Okay? That was months and months before this. But the fact that that assault was on his record justified the SWAT team coming to arrest him. And the fact that this man is labeled armed and dangerous where there is no evidence whatsoever that he has a history of this tells you that the objective of law enforcement is to demonize this man, but also to demonize what he said. Go back and read what he said. You ought to media, you were there, go see what he said. And go see what the white people from the neighborhood, from the area, who came the next day to demonstrate, see what they said. Go read what they said. Now you tell me, should he or should not be considered a hero by young black people in the community? A student, a college student, a very bright young man, no criminal record, and he stands up and stands on the American flag and says that for African people in the United States, the American flag represents tyranny. That's true. Whether you like it or not, it's true. So I just want you to know that he is a hero. And white folks, he may be a demon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I like to ask Marcus Coleman because he was with the KJ case, he had followed that case, and my question to you, Mr. Coleman, is this. Can you find any parallel? I think you probably have more information about the KJ case. Can you kind of take the two and see similarities why the community and you all are so outspoken on this issue?
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's our understanding that during this protest that Kendrick Johnson's name was being echoed over and over again. The whole Black Lives Matter notion, there's been myself and many others, including Mr. Eric, who was in Valdosta, that think that Kendrick Johnson's name needs to be included in this Black Lives Matter contest, or Black Lives Matter actually protest, excuse me. I'd just like to point out just one thing. It's very hypocritical. And a lot of us fought against what I'm about to say. It's hypocritical that in a state that we recently passed a guns everywhere bill that extends your carrying purposes or concealment abilities into churches, bars, and it lessened the penalty for college campuses. We had protests on the campuses of Georgia Tech when Georgia Tech students were being robbed and they wanted to be able to carry on college campuses. Now, I'm not here, this is Attorney Davis's arena to determine whether, or it's the state, excuse me, to determine whether he is guilty or innocent. And I'm glad Attorney Davis is on it. But let's be honest here. We are painting this man as an animal for allegedly having a weapon when our governor recently signed into law to loosen or lessen the penalty and fines for having a weapon on college campus. Very hypocritical. Kendrick Johnson is at the base of this. I'll say this in close. The counter-protest that was done by the 500 plus members from the local area and surrounding areas. Let's just be real here. It was done as a response and a reaction, not just to Mr. Sheppard, but the city of Valdosta is sick and tired of hearing about the name Kendrick Johnson. The city of Valdosta is sick and tired of any strong individual, especially a young black brother, that wants to stand up and put Valdosta on blast for their hypocrisy and some of their lawlessness within their agencies. So I'm very glad you asked that question, and Mr. Sheppard, we want you to know that on behalf of the Johnson family, we appreciate the support around Kendrick Johnson. We appreciate the support across the nation around Kendrick Johnson. But let's just be honest here, it is more than just the flag. It is agents are running rampant through the city of Valdosta, and it is the Black Lives Matter movement that has a certain part of this population uneasy.
Pretty much Eric's safety is calling concern, because let's look at it like this. We had the Kendrick Johnson killed over 2 years ago. His mother worked at the school for 10 years. So it was people that he knew. It was people that he played sports with, people he ate lunch with. Something, this happened in school hours, that he was found rolled up in the gym there. And so you got to understand that if you are going to be killed by someone that you're going to school with, the people that are vigilante justice looking to see Mr. Sheppard's head on this in this situation, we have to understand that these are the same people that are out there right now. These are the same people who, the same department, police department, who has spent more time pursuing this young man than trying to find out exactly how Kendrick wound up in that man. And that when you look at the outpouring from the community that showed up 500 strong to protest the fact that Mr. Sheppard stood on a flag, as opposed to we found a young man wrapped in a gym mat 2 years ago, that speaks volumes of how the community at large views black lives. And when you also look at